I'm going to do here once we get started, actually, see if I can get it done real quick. I'm going to, whoops, not mute you. You unmute yourself. I just did that.
There we go.
I'm pinning you. So what will end up happening here is the video will be just you. When we're talking, we will put in some graphics and stuff to make it look clean and everything, which would be good. But kind of go from there. So I'll go ahead. It's because we're not like doing more podcast format, which goes really long. It's really good to you. So I'll ask the questions, kind of help you draw the answers. But we're not going to use my voice. I don't like my voice anyway, so it'll be better just to have you talking. Then we'll just go through these and we'll see kind of what comes out. I did block an hour more because it was more. I don't want something right after it, but we won't go. Well, it'll be 20 or 30 minutes and then we're done. Cool.
Perfect. I'm excited.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and start the recording.
All right.
All right. So, Christy, welcome. I was looking at your profile a little bit today, just so that I understood you as a leader. And one thing that really stood out to me was some of the things that you have done on the speaker circuit. Okay? And one that you talk a lot about positive culture, employee engagement, employee techniques, or retention techniques. What I would like to kind of dive into here is more of what's your approach to that leadership and that team management to get what you're talking about in that with that corporate culture, employee engagement, and success within a team.
Yeah, absolutely. So leadership it is not for anyone who cannot take a lonely road alone, and it is not for anyone who is looking to be in the spotlight or to be at the top, because in reality, I've found through my journey that leadership is all about shouldering the blame, taking the responsibility, but never taking the credit, right? So it's all about empowering and uplifting your team members, supporting them, giving them exactly what they need, and viewing them as an individual, as a person. A lot of times we look at, okay, here's the process, and this makes sense on paper, or here's the steps we're going to use to develop talent within this individual. But in reality, I found that every individual is unique, and we're people. And so if you shift the focus to people-centric and you look at that individual as they are a person, then you can learn exactly what makes them tick. What are their challenges? Where do they excel? What do they need in order to be the best that they can be? Because when they're the best they can be, that means their output within the business is going to be the best it can be. And so I found that in leadership, it's truly simple. It's not easy, but it's truly simple. Simple in that you look at a person as a person, and you look at it as your job is to help them excel, help support them, and give them everything they need to do their best. So that's really leadership. And when you start looking at it on an individualized basis, really you start creating that culture. It really comes from, I know people say the top down, but I hate org charts. I think that the leadership team should be at the bottom of the org chart and it should flow up, because really that leadership team is the foundation, and it's the support that's holding everybody else and helping them rise, helping their talent rise to where it needs to be. So basically, as a leader, you're down, you're supporting, you're the foundation. And if you build that foundation right and it flows upward from there, that culture is contagious. People want to be part of that. They want a positive environment. They want a place they can grow. They want a place that they like to come. They might not like the specific work every single day, but you make it a place where it's filled with many notes, like in a song, many diverse notes that all form one single sound, one single voice, one single vision, one single mission. And when they are an integral part of that mission, of that growth, of that vision, It's easier to inspire and motivate. And again, it's going to be contagious within your team. You're going to have other members of leadership that portray those same skills or traits, that they push out that same environment. And from there, you're going to have a great place that people want to come. They want to come to be inspired. They want to come to participate. They have a piece and they have responsibility in the outcome of what's happening. And they're part of a shared vision. So really, again, leadership's simple. Look at each individual as a person and think about, what can I do for them? How can I serve them? And that really sums up leadership in a nutshell. Not easy, but simple.
How do you make sure that, or how do you get to the point where you're seeing them as an individual? Someone's basically your peer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's fantastic advice. So whoever was speaking, kudos to them. I agree wholeheartedly. I try to look at an individual. That's where empathy comes in, really being able to connect and look at the individual and think, okay, I'm seeing the subtle cues. I'm seeing their body language. I'm seeing how they're communicating. I'm seeing the micro expressions. I'm taking all of that into account along with what they're saying, and I'm forming this opinion based on, if I were in their shoes, based on how they're saying it and what they're saying. How are they feeling? How are they responding to different things? And as you learn to read people better, even in a short period of time, you're able to really, for the most part, step in their shoes, look at it through their lens, their perspective, and look at them and say, okay, this is the person. This is how they're responding to this. This is what they're passionate about. This is what excites them. This is what makes them anxious. And by reading all of that, you can then look at them on that individual basis. And looking at them as a peer, I mean, I look at everybody as a peer. Just because you have a title within leadership does not mean that you are above anybody else. It doesn't mean that you're on a different level than somebody else. We're all on the same level. We just all have different skills and different sets of experience. And so I try to look at every single person I meet as a fantastic opportunity. I mean, the person at the grocery store to a person mentoring to a person at a speaking event. It's a fantastic opportunity to read this person, connect, empathize, picture yourself in their shoes, and then really respond based on their responses. You look at, the focus is, what can I offer them right now? What can I do to connect with them right now? What can I do to make them feel that they are valued, they're heard, what they're saying is validated, it's acknowledged, and that they are the most important person. I'm very careful to try to put my phone down when I'm speaking or when I'm meeting with someone, or even a team member I see often. When they approach me, the rule is I put the phone down, or I let them know, give me just one moment so that I can focus my full attention on them, because I want to be able to pick up on those expressions and read their emotions.